Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Jared, how are you?
I'm doing good. Somehow it is March and spring break is upon us somehow. And I know this because your sister is going to come visit with her kids for their spring break. And I'm like, it's spring break. Okay. Like mentally, I'm not there. I don't know. But anyways, looking forward to them coming into town next week.
Yes, me too. I haven't seen her or my nieces since November, since we were there for Thanksgiving. So I'm excited to see them. We're going to do Disney for a couple days, and they'll come back to our house. We'll do the beach and, Florida stuff.
I'm sure I will be grilling quite a bit if I were to guess.
Probably.
Which, okay, fine.
But it's supposed to be pretty busy next week because it's not... Okay, it's not Orange County spring break, but I think it's Osceola County spring break.
I was going to say, is it Jersey's? Because it's always something with Jersey.
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking
They're
locally.
Like, why are all these people here? Oh, you didn't know it's Jersey Jersey Deli Week. You're like, what is that? Like, they just all come down. Like,
it's just all just caravan down. No, I'm just trying to think of aocally, around the Orlando area, how many are going to be in spring break. And I think they divide it. Like Orange County and Osceola are not the same time. But anyway, it's still going to be packed. So navigating that with all the crowds is going to be fun. Because we typically don't go to Disney when it's really, really busy. So this will be interesting.
We don't. And on this trip, I was not invited.
No, this is just kids and moms.
Yeah.
So my mom's going, my sister's going, I'm going, and then all the children. So
that's fine.
It'll be fun.
I understand when I'm not wanted. It's okay. Anyway, no.
That'll be great.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And so the last week we did go to Disney we were going to do 2 nights. And we decided to pack everything into 1 night, which worked out pretty well. We hung out with Kendra from Zip Travel.
Yes.
And we got to see Kendra and Kindle. Did I say Kindle or say Kendra?
It's you
we saw both.
Kendra.
Okay. We got to hang out with them.
Yes.
And we went over to Tambu Lounge, had some food over there, which is nice, and saw them. And we packed a lot in a night, stayed over at Port Orleans French Quarter, which we'll talk about probably next week. That's a lot. I didn't stay at Riverside. I hadn't stayed there. So that was nice to do that. So we got a lot of stuff done, including what we're going to talk about today, which is Flower and Garden.
Flower and Garden Festival.
We were there technically on the second day.
Yes.
Because the first day is always just really busy, and it worked out better for us to be on the second day, so we just did that.
Yeah, and since this festival started on a Wednesday, it was still during the week on a Thursday. So it's like, okay, we're still good on a Thursday. Now, if it started on a Friday, I don't think I would go on that following Saturday. I think it would still be really busy. I think I would just choose that following Monday or something.
Yeah, I agree.
It just depends. But anyway, in this case, it worked out well. So
yes. But yes, so we're going to talk about Flower and Garden. But before we do that, we do have some news we're going to talk about, including Bob Iger spoke again at a conference and said some interesting things we'll talk about. Involving the theme parks.
Yes.
And then we have some other news we're going to talk about. But before we do that, we just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're not and you want to, check us out over there. It's at CTM Podcast. We're on YouTube. And if you are, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're listening on good old trusty podcast format, just audio, you just like listening to us, just not seeing us, which is totally fine. We'd please ask you to subscribe over there and leave us a review. We'd greatly appreciate that. Helps us continue to grow the show. And if you want even more content, you should check out Club 32, which is our private group where we have, additional content. We can interact a bit more with people over there. We have live streams like Cool Kids Kitchen. We have the Club 32 Speakeasy. We have the Club 32 Show, which is every Tuesday. We just hang out and chat with everybody about sometimes we just talk about nothing, and sometimes it's really good conversation about the theme parks or whatever it is. You also get 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products, a private Facebook group, a private Discord, and a lot of other things we're looking at adding in there. And it's a great way to support the show if that's what you want to do. So again, ctmvip.com is where you go for that. We have monthly or yearly options, and we even have a free trial if you want to try it out. And we also do live stream, like we did a room tour over at French Quarter and stuff like that. So again, ctmvip.com is where you go for that. So, all right, let's get into the news. And our first story, like we said, Bob Iger gave a presentation at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference on Tuesday. It was touted as a town hall. I listened to the whole thing. They never took questions from any. I mean, the guy interviewed him, asked questions, but it wasn't like people in the audience were asking questions. And I think it was only audio. I don't think there was actually video of this, but he had some interesting things to say, which we will, of course, on here, like, we just want to reiterate. We're just going to talk about the theme park stuff. So there's a lot of things he said about a lot of other things about Disney. But again, this show's focus is theme park related. So that's what we're going to focus on, which he said some things.
Yeah. So the first thing he said was, we have one Avatar based land, Pandora, in Florida. We're going to put a second one in California. And what he was talking about is, I think it was last year, he had said that they're going to do a Pandora experience in California, and everyone thought it was going to be something different. And then he just basically confirmed, yes, the whole land is going in. So,
but from Disneyland people, and I'm not a Disneyland expert, I've never even been, but to the people that I do follow that go to Disneyland, all of them said the same thing. Where? Like, where is this going? He also said in this that, well, we'll get into what else he said about Disneyland after this next thing he said. But yeah, my first inclination was just like, well, where is this going to go? And
that's a good question.
Avatar to me, and we talk about all the time about lands that maybe, at least in Club 32 in the live stream, we'll talk about, like, lands in which, what should Disney perhaps build? I don't believe Pandora or Avatar is really high up on the list of, like, lands people are really wanting to experience, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying I like Pandora, but I think if you were to poll most people, they would probably say, oh, we would love Arendelle, or we would love, a lot of other lands or ideas before you would even hit Avatar.
Yeah.
But it is well done. It has a great ride in it. But I don't know if it's because of Pandora as much as it's just because it's a good land with a good ride.
I don't know. The other thing he said was, Parks and Resorts is a wonderful story. Trends for this quarter show that domestic and international parks and experiences business will probably deliver in the neighborhood of low to mid-teens in terms of operating income. Now, I wasn't really sure exactly what this meant, but it didn't seem like he was like saying like, oh, it's doing amazing. We're just kind of like, well, this is where
he gave no specifics the entire time.
Right.
Like, as I listened to the whole thing, it was very much like he was talking, they brought up Disney Plus and he said it's on the road to profitability. He would talk about things like he never gave specific numbers, and the guy interviewing him wasn't pressing him. It wasn't like a hard-hitting interview. I'm sure he knew the questions ahead of time.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff he's saying was he would sort of say it, and you're like, well, what does that mean? Like, he didn't go into details on this, but, obviously he's a CEO. He's going to put it in the most positive spin that he possibly can.
And he also said, the company has entered into a phase where we can start building. We have thousands of acres of lands to develop. We could actually build 7 new lands if we wanted to around the world, including the ability to increase the size of Disneyland in California, which everybody thinks is kind of landlocked, by 50%.
Okay, I heard this part, and I simply was, why say this?
Why say that we could build 7 lands?
Why say this? I don't understand. When he said that, and they didn't have a follow-up question, and my first response was, first off, increasing Disneyland by 50%, and the Disneyland people have said, How? But why say this? Like, obviously, and I've been saying for months, you have Epic Universe out here opening in about a year that I've been assuming Disney's going to have some sort of rebuttal to it for a while. You would think this would be the year in which they would announce something like, say, D23. But why come out and say, we could build 7 lands? That's like also being the person be like, I could buy 5 sports cars. Like, why? Either you can or you can't. Like, why would you say you can if you don't intend to do it? By him saying we could, it also, and I think it was Alicia Stella on Twitter, she was like, why does everything he says seems like a threat? Like, he says it in a way when you're like, why won't you then? Like, what is this? Is this whole, like, we'll do it if you do something? Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand the reason as to why do this whenever people are already anticipating them announcing something. But then why go 7? I don't know. It's a very strange statement that he made.
I think, I think he's probably just maybe commenting on the scope of land that they have to work with. I don't know specifically. I did not listen, but I just, I grabbed this one. So it says 7 lands around the world. So that includes Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, Hong Kong, Shanghai.
Well, I understand.
Not Tokyo. But
he's trying to show strength.
Sure.
And there was no follow-up to this. So, like, I guess my question just simply is, why even why even put this out there? Because now immediately, and maybe he did it to put pressure on the company. I don't know. Maybe he. I mean, you never know with this stuff. Maybe there's an internal battle going on, and he's out here saying stuff. Because to me, this is just something you say. Like it's like, well, we could go on 4 vacations if we wanted to. Why don't you do it? Well, I don't know if I want to. Like, he's not saying they're going to. He's just saying they could in terms of maybe it's land mass. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have the. I mean, they can always borrow money. I don't know if financially. I don't think you could build 7 lands at the same time. So it's just a very odd statement that he made without any specifics. But he made it. So I don't know what it means. I don't know why you would say it. It seems like sometimes when he does these, he just kind of creates problems for himself.
Well, it's we were talking about this last night with Club 32. It just seems like everything is just blue sky, up in the air. Nothing is concrete. Like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, guys. It's coming. We're doing this, and there's nothing.
They've been saying
no
this
dates. I know
for like 4 years.
It's the boyfriend that strings you along. We're gonna get married. I'm gonna propose.
Yeah,
we're gonna get married. I
well,
promise.
it's all a bunch of coulds, but like, why? Like, it's all these coulds, woulds, shoulds. Like, what? Just do it.
Could do it.
Like, just
might coming.
Right, and I think that's the thing. A lot of people are getting frustrated by. Yeah. Even people. I'm obviously very. If you listen to the show for a very long amount of time, I'm very open in my criticisms because I feel like Disney has set a standard that they're not living up to for a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's not because I want them to live up to it to make experiences in parks that as good as they can be. But you're even getting a lot of people that aren't as harsh as I am sometimes, which I feel like I'm fair. Maybe a lot of people may not agree with me, but a lot of people that are very, we'll just say, favorable most of the time, want to look at a positive spin, which is fine. They're even starting to criticize. So once you start getting to that point, how many more of these D23s can you do where you don't actually present anything and you just say, here's another blue sky idea? Which I'm not, I've been saying for a while, I'm not convinced that they're really going to present anything. And I think if they do come out this year and do say, we're going to do, whatever. Let's say they come out, they say they're going to do Encanto or something, or they're going to do an expansion over in Animal Kingdom. I don't know if they even start construction on it within a couple of years. Like, if they could come out and say they're going to do it and it still doesn't happen anytime soon. I mean, I've said for a while, you're probably still looking at the better part of a decade before anything would be done.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It was a strange statement. I don't know really what to take from it. I don't think the interviewer didn't press him on it. I don't really think anybody else is going to follow up with him too much on it. But I will say, with the proxy battle going on, the day before this, Nelson Peltz had released a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I kind of felt like he maybe would have more things in terms of like stats and things that come out, but he didn't really seem to do that. So okay. I don't know. Maybe we can look forward to 7 lands coming all around the world. I mean, that would be great. That'd be great. But actions speak louder than words. I agree. That is important to remember. I do agree there. But speaking of things that are coming to the parks, we can talk about this. Okay. There is apparently a new experience that is coming themed to Encanto. Yeah, so details of this are pretty sparse, but this actually comes from a audition posting. So they're opening up auditions for like basically characters and singers to be in this experience. And the synopsis they have given says, Walt Disney Animation Studios Encanto tells the tale, or Kanto, whatever you say, tells the tale of Maribel and her extraordinary family, the Madrigals, who are hidden in the mountains of Colombia in a wondrous, charmed place called Encanto. Join Maribel and friends in a festive celebration. And then they are seeking 2 male or female presenting hosts who sing, demonstrate exceptional storytelling, and most importantly, can captivate the audience with their infectious and high energy personalities. These hosts should be immediately likable and accessible with a comedic flair. Bilingual skills are a plus. What does this sound like to you? Well, I was going to say the rumor is this is going where the Frozen sing-along is. This sounds like Frozen sing-along. Yeah. I don't think they'll get rid of Frozen sing-along. I think they might get rid of Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I think taking away Frozen sing-along would be a mistake, but I think adding this alongside with it would be a good idea. You mean just have it like sometimes, or like just like a brief? Like, well, I just mean thing? No, I just mean in terms of having this somewhere else. Yeah. Like I don't. Yeah. Again, there's nobody. They didn't say where this is going to go, obviously, but I think the Frozen sing-along is one of those things where that's a draw. People enjoy that, and I think people would enjoy Encanto. But you could also have this, in the same park, same type of thing. I think that this would be something. Hey, and Hollywood Studios needs more things for people. More attractions. So
yeah,
I think it would make sense to put it over there, Beauty and the Beast, personally.
Or maybe they're going to do something in Dinoland, start changing it up immediately, put it in there.
I mean, they could.
I mean, Encanto was they're talking about Tropical Americas going into Dinoland and replacing it completely. That was a Blue Sky idea, but maybe they're going to do something,
But I feel
temporary.
like a theater thing would be. I feel like you would just go into you would already go into like existing things that already have theater setups.
Like the Up Bird Show?
I mean, that's
I'm just trying to find places.
That's a pretty terrible show.
Yeah.
At least, well, that show's been redone. Have we seen it since they redid it like the 5th time or whatever?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
I mean, that show had some issues and they redid it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could just look at whatever existing theater type setups they have. This could go into which one would be the Frozen sing along, which I hope that doesn't do that. But I was reading and somebody was telling me that if they did go into Frozen sing along, it would probably be temporary. But Frozen sing along has become such a staple. I feel like that would be a mistake.
I really don't see them getting rid of it.
I don't either.
That theater fills up like almost
it
every
does,
day.
and that's what I was saying. Hollywood Studios, does need things. I don't think them exchanging one thing for another is what they need to do. I think having more of those, because I think most people at that age group that like Encanto and probably like Frozen would go do both of those in the same day, which would eat up crowds a little bit.
Right.
Well, which would you prefer? Just have it alongside with it, or to replace it? To replace Frozen?
No, don't replace Frozen.
Yeah.
Nope.
I agree.
That's what I think.
All right. Next news story we have is that there are some character meet and greet shakeups that are happening in the parks.
Yeah, so Animal Kingdom, Doug and Russell are back meeting again at Wilderness Explorers Clubhouse. They were meeting there previously before the COVID shutdown, and now they're back 4 years later. So you can meet them over in their little clubhouse. And at Hollywood Studios, there's a lot going on here. So Donald and Daisy are now meeting in Echo Lake together. So, before you would see them periodically in the grass, like doing like distance meet and greets. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they moved. Same thing with Chippendale. They have moved from the grassy area in front of Hollywood Brown Derby, and they're over in Echo Lake across from Peavy's, again, meeting together. And then Max and Goofy are back in the Grand Avenue area. So the traditional meet and greets are almost becoming I don't think there's any distance anymore. Meet and greets. Does Pooh still come out? No, he doesn't. In Epcot?
I don't recall seeing the last few times.
I don't think he does anymore. But again, I can't remember. So just a little movement around there. So just want to put that out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these are an easy win for Disney to add back. The fact that they haven't done these yet is a little surprising, but I think, like we've talked about many times, especially like Hollywood Studios, they used to have so much streetmosphere.
Yeah.
That made Hollywood Studios so unique. Like, I really wish, bring back these character meet and greets and bring back the streetmosphere. I think that was such a cool aspect to it that is just completely gone. That, in my opinion, almost changed the personality of the entire park.
I know.
By removing that.
Well, we always talked about, over at the other parks, Universal, that they were really good at streetmosphere, and they are actually cutting back on the streetmosphere now too. So I think it's not just a Disney thing. It's like,
no, I know. I mean, everyone's, especially right now, I think with travel being down a bit in general.
Minus spring break.
Minus spring break. But just as a trend in general.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing a lot of pullback. And it makes me wonder too with especially Universal, maybe they're holding back until, Epic Universe is done. Maybe they're going to increase that. Who knows? But it's not just Disney. But I really wish you would have more of these, because I do think it adds a more personality to the parks.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, we'll see what they keep adding back. Next news story we have is Disney Vacation Club has opened Gateway to Discovery Welcome Center at Disney Springs, that is located next to the Frontiera Cocina in Town Center. I think I said that right. I
think you did too.
Maybe. I'm gonna act like I did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bigger, more detailed place to go if you have questions about Disney Vacation Club. And yeah, I haven't been in it, but it looks great.
There we go.
Just FYI.
All right. And over at Hollywood Studios again, they are adding some new scenes to Star Tours. So if you remember correctly, in Star Tours, there's many different scenes you can get when you're riding it in terms of like original trilogy, sequel trilogy, prequel, stuff like that. So they've added some new scenes that have Ahsoka, Andor, and Mandalorian characters and locations in them. There will be over 250 variations that you can experience now with all the different scenes, and this is beginning on April 5th.
Okay, I need to discuss Star Tours just real quick.
Is this a Jamie rant corner?
No, this is not a rant. This is a celebration.
Okay.
I think it's a travesty, in my opinion. Travesty that this ride isn't more popular. I guess because a lot of times it's a walk-on because of how many different experiences you can have. Yes, like the ride is an older ride, obviously, and I'm sure maybe people have just done it so many times. But the fact that you can get a completely different experience 250 times is, I think, pretty cool.
I completely agree. I think it's the second best Star Wars ride in the entire park. I think it's better than Smuggler's Run. I don't even think it's really close.
I mean, I would agree with that just because I can't do Smuggler's Run, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that they do this, and this is easy stuff to do. I'm more shocked that they didn't do this concept with Smuggler's Run. I feel like if Smuggler's Run had this type of concept where you had multiple different things you could do, it would be fantastic. Like, I think it has the potential to be better, but I agree with you. I love the fact that Star Tours does this.
I just wanted to point that out.
Sometimes you get Darth Vader. Sometimes you get Kylo. I mean, you get different things all the time.
It's really cool. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, it's an old ride, but it's still like, I still love doing it. That's one of those where if we walk by it and usually it's a low wait, we'll go do it real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many people disagree with me, but I still think you speak of travesty. I think it is a travesty that they don't do that with Smuggler's Run, though. Because I think if you could fix Smuggler's Run by doing two simple things, adding this element into it. Heck, just take the stuff you have in Star Tours and port it over there and get rid of the piloting. Let it be just a simulator.
Well, maybe.
I
don't know.
I've said for a while, it's one of those rides where on paper you're like, that's really cool. I'm gonna control the Millennium Falcon. And when you do it, you realize, first off, I do play video games. They're very frustrating controls. It's not even really fun to do it. Like it's not like a gaming aspect where you kind of figure it out, at least to me.
Yeah.
And I love, obviously, like when our daughter goes, she wants to do it, but it's like it's not. It can be a not so great experience for everybody else whenever you have somebody piloting that can't even drive yet.
Right.
But so
all right,
maybe one day we'll see. And the last news story we have is that menus for 1900 Park Fare have been released.
Yes, and this restaurant, this is located in Grand Floridian, and they just released reservations because the restaurant officially opens April 10th. And so we kind of finally have an idea of what is going to be served at the restaurant. So it serves breakfast and dinner. So breakfast is until noon, and then dinner starts, I believe, at 4. So breakfast has things like bread pudding with vanilla creme. Is it anglaise?
I'm not sure.
But that sounds really good. Donut holes, Grand Floridian strawberry soup, which is very popular. Double chocolate muffin, guava and cream cheese Danish, cinnamon pull-apart bread. And I haven't seen a lick of protein in this list yet.
I have not yet either. It's very concerning.
There's a beef and potato hash, classic eggs Benedict with hollandaise sauce, carved ham, croissant breakfast pizza, smoked salmon, cheesy potato casserole, spiced tofu scrambled with vegetables, an assortment of fruit, cereals, pastries, etc. So lots of good stuff, lots of sweets, but it looks really good. And for dinner, it's an all-you-care to enjoy little system here. Peel and eat shrimp with cocktail sauce, Tiana's gumbo, baked salmon, carved prime rib, curry roasted chicken, garlic roasted sausage, porchetta, couscous salad, sun-dried tomato and rosemary focaccia, mashed potatoes, green beans, carrots, strawberry soup, and lots of different kinds of desserts, plus some beverages.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I went ahead and made reservations for this next month, so I'm anxious to try it. We got it for breakfast. Only because looking at the menu for dinner, I'm really not sure how much of that my kids would eat. But the breakfast menu is safer. Let's just say it's safer. So we're going with breakfast, but it's the same characters as far as we know. That's at breakfast and dinner. So
yeah, looks like your only protein source for breakfast is a bunch of ham.
Ham and eggs.
Yeah, okay, there's eggs.
Salmon.
Ugh.
I know you don't like salmon. I'm just saying. Beef and potato hash, that's beef.
Yeah, there's some.
There's some. But anyway, so that is a little bit of the menu. And again, opens April 10th. You can now make reservations now.
You can now make reservations now.
Absolutely.
That is true.
That is what you can do.
Well said. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the news. But we do have a poll time.
Poll time. All right. Continuing on our quick service series, I asked the question, what is your favorite quick service restaurant at Hollywood Studios? And I said that these are places that offer mobile ordering only and offer meals. So bars and lounges don't count, unfortunately. So with 33%, first place goes to Woody's Lunchbox. 26% was ABC Commissary. Docking Bay 7 got 16%. Backlot Express got 10%. And let's see, Pizza Rizzo got 3%. Dockside Diner only got 1%. And Catalina Eddie's, Fairfax Fair, Rosie's All-American Cafe got 0. So number 1 was Woody's Lunchbox. What do you think of these results, sir?
I like Woody's Lunchbox. I think that's probably, I was going to say that and ABC Commissary are probably my top ones. ABC Commissary is very underrated. It used to be I don't know if I've ever had a bad meal there. And I've talked about it before.
Oh, yeah.
You used to be able to get a sirloin here, like a sirloin steak here for like $10 or $12. And
the shrimp tacos are delicious.
Shrimp tacos are good. I had something, what did I have here last time?
Buffalo grilled cheese.
Yeah, I'm not big on buffalo sauce, but it was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
But yeah, I think, and it's never really, at least in our experience, never been really that difficult to find a place that's set in here either.
Right. And there's a lot of people that are like, ooh, air conditioning.
Yeah.
Because it's inside and it is fully enclosed.
That's one thing I would say about that over Woody's. Woody's, I like a lot of the food, but if you're there in the summer, first off, good luck finding a table.
Yeah.
Because there's never enough tables over there, and you're just outside.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I probably personally would take ABC Commissary over it because I feel like you can actually relax. I feel like at Woody's too, you're always like, people are always looking for tables. So it's like you can't really relax and you're kind of jammed in there a bit. Food-wise, I think I don't know, some of the stuff I like better at Woody's, some of the stuff I like better at ABC Commissary, but I like being able to be indoors and just sit down.
I think if I would be eating lunch, I would go with Woody's. If I was going for dinner and was doing quick service, I would do ABC Commissary.
I think it would depend on how hot it is for me.
Also that.
If it's a nice day, Woody's wouldn't bug me too much probably.
Oh my gosh, though, that barbecue brisket sandwich they have at Woody's is to die for.
Or you go get your food at Woody's and then take it over to ABC Commissary, because ABC Commissary also has those outdoor. Oh, you're clapping. Okay. Well, here, I can help you with that.
Love it.
It'll sound better.
Let's just do it. Yes. Good job, Jerry. That's what you're going to do. Order from Woody's.
Well,
go sit in ABC Commissary. Although
it's
they're
a hassle.
Kind of strict.
No, I'm saying they have those outdoor tables at ABC Commissary. So there's stuff out there you could sit in. That's one thing about Toy Story Land in general is like it's all outside. Like you're just in the heat.
It's great in January and February.
I mean,
in December.
I know it's supposed to be Andy designed it all, but that kid didn't even think about shade and air conditioning.
Did he consult anybody when designing this backyard
area? If it was
area?
our children building it, I'd go out there and be like, "What are we doing here? We got to have indoor places here. Come on!" Like, well, there's no supervision involved.
Yep.
Anyways,
I need to get back to Docking Bay 7 because it's been a while. It's been a couple years. I remember I liked it though.
It's okay.
All right, Jerry.
It's never been my most. Right. Even I remember opening day. Like it's not bad. It's just nothing there has ever been, in my opinion, that I've had with like, wow, that was really good. Ronto Roasters I like a lot, but Ronto Roasters has weird hours though too. It's not always open.
And the variety they only have like a few items.
Well, I was gonna say the Ronto wrap that is only worth anything is the breakfast one.
Their overnight oats are good. I had those one time. whatever they're called, moon oats. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah,
moon oats.
it's something to do with moon.
I know.
It's not moon oats, but you know what I mean.
Can I have some moon oats, please?
But yeah, so I mean, I'd agree with this list. I like a Woody's Lunchbox a little bit better, but ABC Commissary is right up against it. That's my personal pref.
I know. Yeah, I think Docking Bay 7's a little high for me, but
Well, that's you.
that's me. Hey,
Right.
I have the microphone. I'm just going to give my opinion. So
That's right.
that's how it goes.
Well, thank you everybody for participating in the poll this week, and I will have a new poll next week.
Yes, and if you want to be a part of the next poll time, you can do that in a couple of ways. You can go join the Capture the Magic Facebook community, where it's a good place to, questions about upcoming trips or just want to chat about, things in the parks. Always a good place to do that. Plus, Jamie posts the poll times in there and over on Instagram at Captain Magic. She posts those in the stories.
Yes.
So, all right, well, let's get to our discussion portion today, which we're going to be talking about our experience at Flower and Garden Festival. So if you're unfamiliar with this is the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. It takes place, of course, at Epcot. This is from February 28th through May 27th this year. And I believe this is the 31st year of this festival.
It is. It is longer running technically than Food and Wine. Food and Wine originally started over at Disney Springs when it was the Disney Village or whatever it was
Downton
called.
Disney.
Downton Disney. Then it eventually moved over to Epcot in 96. But this started here in 94 and it ran April to June. But it only had like topiaries and gardens. It didn't have any of the stuff we have now, like the outdoor kitchens and any of the other stuff. It was very scaled down, but again, it was the first year, so
yeah.
The
festival celebrates springtime, gardens, fresh flavors, and more. And there are, like Jamie said, outdoor kitchens, topiaries, gardens, festival merchandise, food, strolls, scavenger hunts, live entertainment, and other things like that. Of course, you have the attractions that you can always go check out.
Fun for the whole family.
Fun for the whole family.
The fam bam.
So we're going to talk about first the outdoor kitchens that we tried.
Okay.
And then just give our honest opinions on it if we liked it or not.
Absolutely.
Now, there are over 18 different locations this year.
Including, and that doesn't include the ones that are always there, like Joffrey's and Refreshment Port and Outpost. Those are always there, but they always do festival offerings.
True.
So
yeah. They open about 11 a.m., typically go to park close. You can get a wristlet, a gift card wristlet that makes it easier if you're going to be doing all the food stuff.
And those are cute. That's a nice souvenir.
Yeah. We use it sometimes when we remember. But yeah, I mean, it's easier than digging into your wallet if you're doing that. But if you're if you know you're going to be doing a lot of that, or you set a budget, you can just put whatever on that gift card and take around and do that. So can make it easier. Most of the selections are part of the Disney dining plan as well. So if you are doing that, you can use a lot of those can be used as snack credits.
Yeah.
I believe is how it gets used. I don't know anything else about that before we get into the reviews.
Well, we like Jared said, we went on Thursday of last week, and it was the second day of the festival. And just as a broad statement, we did not wait very long. We waited maybe the most 5 minutes.
Yeah, the lines weren't bad. It's the first festival in a little bit where the lines weren't terrible. Again, this was a Thursday. It was the second day. It was a Thursday. I don't even want to know what it was like probably on Saturday. I have a feeling the weekends would be very busy. But for us, it wasn't bad during the day.
And we decided to do a smattering of new stuff and stuff that we've tried before, stuff that we really like. So that's what you'll see in here.
Yes. So the first one we'll go over to is Farmer's Feast.
Yep.
This first menu is called Early Bloom, and then this one runs until March 30th, and this menu changes as the festival goes on. So over here, what did we have, Jamie?
So we had new this year. We had the veal loin with spring pea risotto featuring Ben's Original International Grains, arborio rice, and red wine syrup for $8.50. And we also had the grilled street corn on the cob with savory garlic spread and plant-based cheese. This is a garden graze item. And it was $5.75. Now the grilled street corn is available all festival, not just for the early bloom menu, but it's available all the time. So
yes.
But the veal loin, what did you think?
The veal itself was a little dry.
It was a little dry.
It was good with the risotto.
Yeah,
Although
if you use it as a sauce.
Although it was green, it kind of was unappealing looking because I thought at first it was peas, but it had peas in it as like more of looks. I'm not a fan. I do not like peas.
But it didn't really taste pea like.
No, it didn't taste like pea. It actually, the risotto with the veal was actually pretty good. The veal on its own, I didn't think was that good. Like I said, it was a little dry.
Yeah.
So this together was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I don't know if there's something. I think there's other dishes I would get over this for sure. After we'll talk about the other ones, but I think it was okay. It was like middle of the road.
Well, I liked it, and I feel like it had a you would say you want more meat, but I feel like I had a good amount of it with the risotto.
Agree to disagree, but that's usually my motto is more meat.
So, scale out of 1 out of 10. What did you give that?
6.
Okay. I'd probably give it like a 7. I enjoyed this a little more than you, but I really like risotto, so that's probably why.
Yeah. And then the street corn, we had tried street corn, was it last year or 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
Okay. And it was, I mean, to me, corn is pretty simple, but I remember 2 years ago, it was not good. I was very confused as to what was wrong with this.
I'm telling you, they were just either having a bad morning or ours wasn't cooked enough. Like, it was just not good. So we avoided it last year.
Which happens, which again, it's kind of hard to mess up corn. So we tried this again. Now this I thought was pretty good. Yeah. I liked it. Had some garlic. It had the
cheese.
The cheese on it. I think it had a little bit of butter. You could taste on there a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was pretty good. I mean, again, I'm not a huge corn on the cob person. I hate how it gets stuck in your teeth.
Bring some toothpicks.
All that stuff. Mm-hmm. I would much rather eat corn like in a bowl or something. But as the corn on the cob goes, I thought it was pretty tasty.
You want freestyle corn. That's what you want.
I just want corn that's not such a chore to eat. I feel like corn on the cob is a commitment. It's like it's going to get on your hands, it's going to get on your face, and it's going to be on your teeth for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I would rather not do that. Like, I like corn. I just don't want to do all that to eat it.
Oh, but it's so good.
Kind of like my whole thing on like lobster. It's such a time commitment to like get in there and fight it. And
I really enjoyed this. Like you said, the garlic, the cheese, the spices on it. I thought it was very good. I would give this like an 8 out of 10.
I mean, for what it is, I'd say about an 8. It's fine. I mean, it's how
that's what I said. I just said 8
yeah, no, I'm agreeing. I'm saying for what it is. I'm not going to give like, I don't think I'd ever give corn on the cob like a 10.
Okay.
But for what it is, corn on the cob, yeah, I think an 8 is fair on that. It was good. Much improved from the last time we had it. So
okay,
it was better.
All right.
Let's move over to the pineapple promenade.
Pineapple promenade.
So over here, we had the spicy hot dog with pineapple chutney and plantain chips for $8. I should say I had this.
Yeah.
Jamie did not. And Jamie had the frozen dessert violet lemonade, which was non-alcoholic, and it was $4.75.
What'd you think of the hot dog?
So the hot dog itself was okay. It was a basic hot dog. It had a little spice to it. It was okay. It was the bun when I got it. There was so much stuff on it. Like, it was soggy to the point where like you went to pick it up and it all just fell apart. Which I'm not really big on a big soggy bun with a hot dog. Personally speaking, I took off the plantain chips were weird. It almost it was like they tasted like stale chips.
Well,
but like
they're not supposed to be like
right. I'm just saying the way the crunch is on those, like, I didn't like it on this dish.
Got it.
Okay. I ate the hot dog by itself. I kind of just took it all off because the bun again was like basically water. It was kind of gross.
Ew.
Just mush. The hot dog itself, it was a little spicy. It was okay. I wouldn't get this again for $8.
Okay.
I feel like
a little too much.
A basic hot dog you would get at a cookout is better than this.
Well,
personally speaking,
you're at Epcot, sir, not at a cookout.
I don't know how much we can fancy up a hot dog. Hot dog to me is like, just give me a bun, ketchup and mustard. Preferably, I would take a bratwurst over a hot dog. But if we're doing that, I don't think you can really improve too much on a hot dog unless you go chili dog route, and that is really good. Pineapple chutney and plantain chips, to me, doesn't make a hot dog better. Okay. So that's my personal take on that, at least.
Well, I had the violet lemonade. It's pretty sweet. It's not very tart. It is delicious, and I get it every year.
Okay.
9. I'll say 9 out of 10 because I don't think it was super duper amazing. It's beautiful, but I could use a bigger cup. It was a very tiny cup.
It was very little.
Very tiny. But anyway, so
yeah, I would give the hot dog like a 5.
Okay.
I just think, I mean, I honestly think
Really
there's
didn't
just,
like
you can probably find better hot dogs in Epcot just at a random food place.
Probably.
So that's my take there.
And this location is where you can redeem your Garden Graze prize. So if you're not familiar, Garden Graze is the food stroll in which you purchase 5 items of a possible 8 options. You have a cast member stamp your passport, and then you take your completed passport to Pineapple Promenade and redeem it for the prize. And this year, the prize is a packet of wildflower seeds
Boy.
and a mango lime swirl Dole Whip in a souvenir cup.
Oh, okay.
So
they should have led with the Dole Whip.
The Dole Whip is, I heard it was really good. The mango lime sounds delicious. But the seeds are also included in that as well.
I feel like having lime Dole Whip all the time would be a good thing. That's like,
yeah.
just like as a constant thing.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're not doing it this year just because there's a lot of items on the list that we're just not super interested in this year, but it is available to anybody. And if you like something a lot, you could just buy it 5 times and have it stamped 5 times. You don't have to get 5 different items.
That's true.
By the way.
That's true.
Just want to put that out there.
Yes. All right, let's go over to the Honey Bistro.
Bistro.
Do you get it?
I do get it.
Bee, as in a bee.
Good job.
Not the letter.
Good job.
Okay, over here, I didn't get any food. I just tried a beer they had here, which is the Copper Point Brewing Company. They had a Bees Squeeze Blonde Ale. Mm-hmm. As beers go, it was good. It was kind of a nice, I would call it like a springtime beer, kind of fruity, kind of like a Hefeweizen. I would say a beer that people are familiar with. It was almost like a Blue Moonish, but a little light and more, I guess you would say, crisp a little bit. It was good.
Okay.
It was fine. It wasn't the best beer I've ever had, but
all right.
it was above average. I enjoyed it. I would drink it again. So
all right.
there you go. I don't know. I guess on a beer I'd put it like a 7.
Okay.
At least for me.
Sounds good.
At least in me and my beer tastes. But
yes.
all right, next booth is the Florida Fresh.
Okay.
Cream Fresh.
So at this booth, we got both of the new items that were of the food items. We got the grilled warm lobster tail with key lime butter. This is $11.25. And we also got the cubanito with mojo marinated. Is it mojo or mojo?
I think it's Mojo.
Okay.
Maybe.
Pork belly, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, and stone ground mustard sauce for $6.50. Going up to the lobster tail, I want to say that making this $11.25, if you want to use one of your snack credits on the dining plan, use it on this. It's $11 worth of food. You could have a snack credit. You would have a lobster tail.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about this, by the way?
It was okay. It was again, I'm not the biggest seafood person.
Right.
I like lobster. I couldn't tell you the differences necessarily between a bunch of different lobsters. The presentation, like, it looked kind of cool the way they did it, and I did like over here they had the Yoder smokers they were using.
You did point that out.
Which I do want a Yoder smoker, but
I don't know what that means.
It's a brand of smoker. They're basically built like a tank, and they're like some of them are like $20,000, but they're very
well, all right.
but they're very nice.
Okay.
They were using those guys. I saw them and I was like, oh. It was okay. I'd say honestly at that price point though, like I think there's better dishes to be had that tasted better that aren't almost $12.
Okay.
It was by the time we got ours, it was a little cold, so it wasn't like super warm. It was a little tough, but the flavor was good. I liked it. I just didn't. It's not something for me at that price point. Like I wouldn't want a ton of it. I'd probably give it like I'd give it like a 7. I don't think it's a very good value, but if you're doing snack credits,
you're doing a snack credit,
you're going to get a lot of value out of that. In terms of just getting this over some other stuff that you could get, there were other things that we enjoyed a lot more, which we'll talk about. More that were less than this, I think you got more of.
Yeah. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I couldn't really taste the key lime.
I didn't pick up any of the key lime
at all, which is okay, but it's just, I didn't. Well,
and typically with lobster tails, like you have a dipping sauce of butter.
That would be great.
They didn't have that. So
no.
It was on there a little bit, but I never picked out the key lime part of it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It was okay.
And then the cubanito was just basically almost like a Cuban sandwich. And for $6.50, I felt like it was a good value.
It was good. I liked it. I like a good sandwich.
Yeah.
I feel like I like to say mojo.
Mojo.
They should call it a mojo sandwich.
Mojo.
Marinated. I think it was a little small for what it is, but I didn't think it was really good.
I mean, for $6 for Disney prices, I thought that was pretty good for that size.
It was okay.
Okay.
But I'm not. That's the size portion. Again, I'm a hungry guy. I like to eat a lot sometimes.
Yes, you do.
But flavor wise, I thought this was really good.
Absolutely.
So I probably would give this like an 8 or a 9 in terms of like how it tasted. I liked it.
I'd give it like an 8.5. Yeah.
I mean, a sandwich is almost out the gate. If you can do a decently good sandwich, you're almost at an 8. Sandwiches are they're a staple for a reason.
Yeah.
Firehouse Subs and other sandwich places exist because sandwiches are delicious.
Well, and the bread was interesting. Like it's a little more thin, I guess. I was expecting it to be like thicker, I guess. I don't know.
But it was smashed. So
it was smashed. But
as a Cuban goes.
Yes.
Yeah, enjoyed that one quite a bit. But,
yeah.
All right, we'll head over into France at Fleur de Lis.
No. Fleur de Lis.
That's what I said. Anyways, Jamie had something over here that she got it. I'll let you pronounce it because you took French.
Oh, okay. So this is new. Okay. It is. I'm just gonna say the English words.
No, you gotta try it.
Parmentier de canard à l'orange.
No, that's pretty. I mean, it's better than I would have done.
It's terrible. It's duck confit with orange sauce and garlic rosemary mashed potatoes for $7.95, and I thought this was pretty darn good.
No, this was really good. I wish there was more meat and more of it.
Needed more duck,
but it was very much like I'm very much a meat and potatoes type of guy. So for me, I thought it was really good. It was basically just like, mashed potatoes and gravy with some meat, which was the duck meat. I thought it was really good.
The sauce was good with it.
It was good.
Yeah.
I probably would go like a 9.
I'd say a 9 too.
Like if it was a full, I would have eat this as a full meal. And from being from the Midwest, I would have been like, "Can I have your perimeter de carne orange?" And they'd have been like, "Sir, leave." And I'd be like, "What?" I said it how the menu spelled it.
You did. Anyways. And then I also got La Vie en Rose frozen slush, which has been there forever. It's vodka, Grey Goose, L'Orange, Saint Germain Liqueur, white and red cranberry juices for $14.50, and it's pretty, it's delicious, and I love it.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say.
Pretty and delicious.
I'll say 9.5. I'll give it 9.5.
Okay.
Anyway,
all right.
Get it if you go.
All right. The next booth over here went to Germany.
Germany.
I don't know if that's how we say that. That's how I said it. And over here, now this was probably my favorite meal dish. I will say probably. This was my favorite meal dish, and there's another dish that was as good as a dessert.
Oh, okay.
Over here, this was the toasted pretzel bread topped with Black Forest ham. I love Black Forests and their ham. I never have understood what they call. I always see Black Forest ham. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but and melted Gruyere cheese. That's exactly how you say it.
Good.
That's just $6. This was delicious.
He loved this, you guys.
I was angry. I had to share it.
But we've had this before.
We have. I feel like it was way better this year. It was a perfect amount. It had a good amount of ham, Black Forest ham.
Black Forest ham.
And the pretzel bread with the cheese. Like, I would get this again and again. It was excellent. It was to the point, and again, at $6, I feel like this is actually one of the better value things in the entire festival.
It was kind of small, though.
It was a little small, but it made up for it with flavor.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, though, too. Like if it's been sitting out for a while, it may not be as good.
Well, the cheese, how do you say it again? The Gruyere.
Gruyere, yeah.
That cheese, if it's not fresh, does tend to not taste very good.
Well, if it's cold, like it was a windy day too, so we tried to eat it as soon as we got it. And good thing, because I think it was good that way. But yeah, so if it's windy or cold, just
I enjoy. I mean, I would give this probably a 9, 10 in that range. Like, I liked it that much.
I'll be more conservative and give it like an 8.
An 8. It's Black Forest ham.
Okay.
Is there other type forest hams that they've graded on? I don't know why the Black Forest ham stuff.
Like red forest ham or something.
Like, what is that? Green forest? That's garbage.
Forests aren't green.
Get it out of here. So I really enjoy it. I probably say 9. The next one I'll put it at 10, but it was more of a dessert thing.
Okay.
But this one 9.
Okay.
Probably my favorite food dish in terms of like not a dessert. So.
Okay. Fair
But the
enough.
last one we did here, this is very much what you would call hot and cold.
Oh, yes, it is.
So we went to Brunchcot.
What did we
And
get at Brunchcot?
what's funny is Jamie wanted to go here because she wanted to try the biscuits and gravy with Impossible fried chicken steak and Impossible sausage gravy. And I was like, I want nothing to do with that. That's I'm very much, I'm not going to go into it here, but like the Impossible stuff tastes terrible, and there's things that just shouldn't exist, and Impossible is one of them. It's gross. But anyways, that's just me. If you like it, go on. Do your thing. But the other thing, and so finally Jimmy was like, well, do we also get this other thing too? So then she was like, okay, I'll get it. And they also had fried cinnamon roll bites with cream cheese frosting and candied bacon for $5. So how was your biscuits and gravy?
Your
Let's play a
face.
game. Which one did we like and which one did we hate?
Okay, so the biscuits and gravy with the Impossible chicken fried steak and Impossible sausage gravy. It was garbage.
The minute I saw it, just on presentation alone, I was just
No, God, no.
that's
Yeah.
It looked.
It was not good.
It looked as dry and gross as it tasted.
Yeah. It did not hit the spot at all. I would not get this again. I would give this a big fat 1.
Yeah, I didn't eat any of the Impossible side. I tried some of the biscuit and a little bit of the gravy.
Yeah.
And it was not. I mean,
Even the biscuit wasn't even good.
biscuit was dry.
I was like, why?
It was one of there was a dish, I would say the worst festival dish I've ever had out of any park was a few years ago at Universal for Mardi Gras. You remember that chicken, like I was like a thigh-high chicken type biscuit thing?
Yes.
And I swear that biscuit was like 3 days old and the chicken was cold.
Yes.
It was the worst. I didn't even get close to finishing it. And I will finish food that I do not like. I'm from the Midwest. If it's got protein, I'll be like, I'm eating this, but I'm not going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember throwing that one away. This one is about that level. It was bad.
Okay.
But
On the other hand,
the plus side, the fried cinnamon roll bites with cream cheese frosting and candied bacon was absolutely amazing.
chef's kiss, y'all.
Like,
Love this.
and this one may be the best value because it was $5 and you got
5 of them.
Was it 5 pieces?
Yeah.
And they were good sized.
Yep.
This could be a problem if you had they were that good.
They were so good.
They were really good.
And like it just the perfect amount of frosting, the perfect amount of bacon. They were soft. They were like doughy. Dare I say a little bit of yeasty? A little yeasty.
They were a little
They were good.
I have no complaints. The only complaint I had about this is not having more.
And I do want to mention with the cinnamon roll bites that I had a little bit of an allergy thing that I wanted to bring up. So, these do not have nuts on them, but I actually thought that they did.
They used to. I think
Did they
last year.
used
I'm
to?
pretty sure they used to. Because
Okay.
I remember last year we didn't get it because of that.
Maybe that was it. Anyway, so I wanted to check. I like looked in the menu. I didn't see any, but I was just like, I just want to make sure. So going up to the cast member at the register, I said, hey, I have a peanut and tree nut allergy. I just want to make sure there's no nuts or peanuts on the cinnamon roll bites because I cannot have them. And she's like, hold on a second. So she went and she got they have this book out. She was checking. She actually called somebody, I'm guessing one of the head chefs to do with the festival. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, they called somebody to check, and she said, okay, so no nuts or tree nuts anywhere in this booth. Okay, got it. And so hung up. She's like, I checked there. You're fine. Nothing, no nuts or tree nuts or peanuts. I was like, oh, great. Thank you so much for checking. So, but they were thorough. She took the time to do it. And I was like, that's amazing. So, if you do have any kind of allergy, you go to one of these outdoor kitchens, they can check for you. However, they can't really accommodate all the time. So we had another instance last year with Bananas Foster's. Was it Bananas Foster's or there was some? Oh no, it was carrot cake. It had walnuts in it and they couldn't take the walnuts off. Like they couldn't make that accommodation for me. So I couldn't have it. So they can't really make accommodations for you all the time. They might be able to sometimes, but not all the time. But they can make sure to check for you when you're there.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not making this stuff like made to order. So yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And then I just want to put that out there. So
I mean, they're also probably a little bit more careful. I don't think we talked about in the news, but there was over at Raglan Road, they had that woman that died from the allergy thing. It was, they said it was a clean, she went there and I think she was allergic to peanuts, but it was like very bad. And they said it was fine and she ate it. And then like an hour later, she went into anaphylactic shock and died, and she's suing. And they seem to be...
she's not suing.
Well, the family is.
Right.
But it seems that they didn't follow proper protocol, which, again, Raglan Road is not technically a Disney restaurant, but, the general public's not going to know that. So Disney always, I will, to their credit, when it comes to allergy stuff, Disney is very good on that stuff. So they were probably this way before anyways, but I'm sure now with that going on, I'm sure they had a meeting that were like, be very thorough on this and be on the lookout for the people ask.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've always had, I mean, every time we go out to eat, you always say you have an allergy, and they're always very thorough on that. So,
yep.
Yeah. But what'd you think on the cinnamon roll bites?
Oh, 9.5.
You're not going to go 10?
No, I never go 10. 9.5.
What's the point of having a scale to 10 if you don't go 10?
10 is perfect. These were not perfect, but they were close. So 9.5.
Probably as an overall dish, this was my favorite thing.
It was good.
And I think it was, at $5 is not a bad value. I mean, considering a lot of donuts nowadays are like $5. I feel like you got more stuff in here than you would have, like, it probably would have added up to like a donut, maybe 2 donuts or something like that. So I feel like a decent value.
That's good value. Mm-hmm.
I would, if I could get this with the pretzel bread over at Germany, I would probably just eat this all day.
Okay.
So, but that's all. Yeah, that's all the food we tried.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite out of the whole thing?
The cinnamon roll bites, or probably the. I really liked the first thing with the veal with the risotto.
You liked that more than I did.
I liked that more than you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd go back and get those cinnamon roll bites.
Okay.
And if they're not good, we must have a really good batch. Which I will say, sometimes that does happen. These booths have good and bad days. So some stuff you try that's not good one day, it could be just fine the next day. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that does happen. But all right, moving on. Next part is the merchandise, which is a part of all these festivals. Mm-hmm. And I will let Jamie talk about that because I am not the merchandise expert. Listen, for sure. I'm a humble t-shirt merchant, and we sell many a t-shirts over at ctmshirts.com. You should go check them out. But when it comes to merchandise at like festivals, I walk in there, I see so many things, and I just sort of just my eyes glaze over.
Okay, I will do this then. So most of the items that they were selling can be found in Creation Shop, and some items will be found at World Traveler, Pin Traders, and like the festival kiosks. So you can find them kind of spread around. But if you want everything, most of the time you can go to Creations. There are 4 collections this year. There's Orange Bird, Butterfly Collection starring Minnie Mouse, Coco Collection, and the Annual Pass Holder Collection. And I'm not going to tell you everything that they have. I'm just going to point out some cute things that I saw. So the Orange Bird Collection had the most amount of items. It's like, I guess I would say like it's the landmark is not, the staple is not the right word. What's the word I'm thinking of? Flagship. Thank you. The Orange Bird is like the flagship merchandise collection this year, I would say. So they have the Orange Bird lug bag that is like literally flying off the shelves. I think right now it's sold out. It's $60.
Yeah, we were looking at them. The cast member came over and said like that's the first time he'd seen them on shelves like all day. And I was like, oh.
I know. I mean, like I almost got it, but I was like, I like Orange Bird, but I don't love it. There's a Loungefly where Orange Bird pops out of the front compartment. Like you pull him out and he's like, hey, buddy. This is $88. There's also an Orange Bird plush that folds into itself to become a Spaceship Earth orange, which is fun. It was fun. It was
I don't know if it was fun.
$22.99.
It was cute. I guess it was cute. Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be fun.
There's a smattering of Orange Bird hat, mouse ears, pins, flower pot, pitcher, magic band, ornament, shirts, button-up shirt, and of course, spirit jerseys. And they just released a tumbler that was not available until like today. So there you go. It's crazy. There's also a butterfly collection starring Minnie Mouse. They've got a butterfly straw hat for $34. They got a garden stake for $34, a stepping stone for $29, and a flower bag, which is a very cute flower bag, for $20. And that was a pretty small collection. They also have a Coco collection, which is a couple shirts, a tumbler, and a hat. But I didn't really like any of that. It kind of just breezed right past it because it was okay. It didn't look very festival like though. And then they have an annual pass holder collection. That's the Spike the Bee tee, Spike the Bee lug lunchbox, which is super cute. Spike the Bee lug hobo bag for $135 and a couple pins. So. And they also have the Loungefly, the Orange Bird Loungefly. Don't forget that. So.
Okay. That was your merchandise minute. Good job.
Thank you.
I saw some of these, but I didn't take, again, I'm not the merchandise person.
Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm wearing my Orange Bird hat I bought last year and I really like, so.
You do. Unless there's like a Transformers popcorn bucket that catches my eye or something. I tend to just, certain things may catch my eye, but
alrighty,
not that stuff typically. So thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
All right. Obviously with Flower and Garden, you do have topiaries, which we talked about. So we checked out some of these. So there is a new Groot topiary over by Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is probably the coolest topiary, I would say.
Oh my gosh. So he's holding a tape that says Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Which is supposed to move. It was moving. It wasn't moving when we were there. The tape part.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like it's playing song and every 20 minutes, I think.
Something. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
There was PhotoPass in front of it, which we got a picture in front of. But it was really cool. Like the topiaries
really cool.
as it goes, like that was probably the coolest one.
Absolutely. That was my favorite.
There's also a new Wish topiary that was at the front of the park.
Yeah.
That was as underwhelming as the movie was. If I'm being quite honest.
It was okay. It was fine. It was fine. Asha, Star, and Valentino were at the entrance.
I heard a lot of people, because it's right when you walk in. And obviously that's where people take pictures. I heard at least 3 or 4 other people, which again, it's just, I think people just there, just hanging out. They're just like, who's that? And a bunch of people kept saying, it's Encanto. And I'm like, it's not Encanto.
Oh, no.
They did.
She kind of does look like Isabella.
A little bit. And again, Wish was not a successful movie. So, it just being up front and center there, I was sort of like, I mean, I'm sure they planned it way before, but I can't say I was, I don't know. I've seen much better topiaries at the front of the park before, but as that goes. And then there was a new Coco and Dante one over at the Mexico Pavilion.
Yep.
Which was cool.
Those are the new ones. And then they had the regulars all spread out around the park. So
yeah, so you got, I mean, there's tons of them.
So
Buzz Lightyear, you got Mickey and Minnie, you got Beauty and the Beast, you got Peter Pan, like all
Miss Piggy and Kermit.
Yeah. Which again, they are really well done.
Absolutely. The talent that goes into this is amazing. So
yeah.
But yeah, those are the ones we just want to talk about. So
yes, that's part of it. You can always check those out. And then you also they have the gardens.
Lots of gardens.
Yes. So there's a few gardens. So one, I know what you're thinking. This isn't a garden, but it is. It's a PB&J garden presented by Smucker's Uncrustables. And you're thinking, oh, is this a garden in which PB&J grows from? Or you can go in there and get some PB&Js because that would be pretty cool. You did snort right into the microphone. I said we leave it.
I'm sorry. So gross. Sorry.
No, in fact, there is no PB&Js to be had. It was a giant tease. I was like, oh, well, at least maybe some PB&J. Nothing. I don't know why it was called the PB&J garden. But yeah, that was there. And no Uncrustables were to be found that I knew about.
They were actually handing them out.
When?
Yeah, apparently to the side, and we missed it.
What?
I know. They were handing out Uncrustables.
Uncrustables, by the way, are really good. I mean, okay, let's be honest. Uncrustables not new. PB&J is just, as again, sandwiches have been a staple for a long time. PB&J, that's a hard sandwich to beat. That's a good, solid sandwich that's been around for like 400 years. I'm guessing.
As someone that's allergic to peanut butter, I hate this.
I'm pretty sure they used to eat these during the Roman Empire. I'm pretty sure that's where they got started.
They have like, I don't even know, 30 gardens. Like they call it, basically if it's an area that has like something that's growing on it, they call it a garden.
Well, technically it is a garden, I suppose.
Yeah. So, but they have tons. And I think like my favorite is probably the Butterfly Landing. That's technically a garden. That's the Butterfly House, which we didn't get to see yet, but it's pretty much the same as last year, I think. Pretty similar.
Yeah.
The gardens in Japan are really cool because it has like those like the water feature. And like they make the music and stuff. I really like those. And then also technically the playground called Camp Get Out and Play, is a garden, but it's the playground. So our kids like that. So
They do.
I know, but there's gardens everywhere.
There's a lot of gardens. There's also gardens right. Which one was that when you walked into World Showcase to the right?
To the right,
Across from Uncrustables. It was like across from the
monorail. Blossoms of Fragrance.
Yeah, that one right there. So there's a bunch of stuff. So there's a lot of gardens all over the place. The one that was just funny to me was the PB&J garden. I was like, that's
brand new this year.
They should have placed like Uncrustables inside of pots, and you like you picked them like they were fresh.
Amazing.
I'm so mad that they were handing those out.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
Apparently we didn't see it. I was like, oh, darn it. It's okay.
Ridiculous. Anyways, all right. You also can do scavenger hunts as part of. They have these at most of the festivals.
Yep.
But the ones with this one involve you have Spike's.
There's two.
Yeah, there is two. You have Spike's Pollination Exploration, and then they also have the Egg Extravaganza Hunt.
Yeah, so Spike's Pollination Exploration is where you follow Spike the bee along his pollination trail, where Spike will be busy collecting nectar and pollinating gardens. And we, thank you. Is that for the bee?
That was for the bee.
Thank you.
I was late on it. Sorry.
We try to do this every year. I don't think we did it last year, but we did it the year before. And we love finding Spike because he's small. Like, he's small to find. So sometimes it's hard. But the prizes this year are super cute. It's a mini cornhole game.
That's actually kind of inventive. I kind of like that.
Right? Like tabletop tiny cornhole. And the designs are the same choices as what the merchandise collections were. So Orange Bird, Butterfly with Minnie, the Coco, and then Passel or Spike the bee. So
Okay.
yeah. Then the extravaganza hunt, which is embark on a delightful hunt for eye-catching eggs, each resembling a beloved bunny rabbit. And this experience is only available until April 9th. And the prize this year are Easter egg character charms. Not as exciting as the cornhole, but that is the prize. So
Either way, you get something. I mean, the cornhole thing's unique.
it is unique.
Kind of cool.
But our kids love this, so
That's
I'm
true.
sure we'll do it.
This is something you can do because, again, let's be honest. Like, at least with our kids, we try and do this festival without our kids because most Epcot festivals pretty boring for kids. I mean, it just kind of is.
Yeah.
So we try and do this without it. But if they are with you, the scavenger hunts can be kind of nice.
Yeah,
to do along
absolutely.
With and they do. You always have the kid cot over there in the America Pavilion. You can go color. It's the same coloring thing you do every time, but you do have something you can go do.
And with scavenger hunts, you don't actually have to take around, go around and find everything. You can buy the map and then you can just get the prize while you're there. You don't have to complete it because you're basically paying for the prize.
Right. Yeah.
Just FYI.
Unless you're like our daughter who wants to complete it.
Listen,
which I get.
She is task oriented.
Well, that's how I get it. That's how I would be too. I'm like, no, I don't want it just to let me earn it. I get it. So, all right. And the last couple things we'll talk about is they have the Garden Rocks.
Garden Rocks
concert series.
Why?
Why
that
Every time I
accent?
say garden, I just think of Boston saying
Like
garden.
Boston
and they all
garden.
say garden.
Yep.
They would say, welcome to the garden. All the Boston people are shaking their head at me right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, Eric, Chris, all you guys, I know you don't like it. I'm just saying. It's a funny accent. Yeah, this takes place every night. This is very much, like our food and wine. They have bands come in.
They have local bands during the week and famous artists on the weekend.
Yes. Like cover bands during the week and things like that. So
Yeah.
we went over, I can't remember everybody coming in. We went over it a couple of weeks ago on the show about the different acts coming in.
Yeah.
But if you want to go back and listen to that one, it's probably like 2 or 3 episodes ago. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. I remember Rick Springfield was one of them.
He is actually going to be there on that Monday night that we're at Disney. So
Most Midwestern name ever.
God, right. Rick Springfield.
I feel like Bruce Springsteen is like East Coast name. Rick Springfield's like, that's Midwest.
Okay.
What's your name? Springfield. Rick. Anyways. Yes, you can check that out. And then there are also festival magic shots. So these are with the PhotoPass photographers. Now, not every PhotoPass photographer does have a magic shot, and you really won't know who has one unless you see it, which you'll see them hand somebody a prop, and they only take one picture. That's a magic shot, or you can just ask them. But they have a few. So we got the orange bird in a basket.
Yeah, it was like a bushel of... Is it a bushel of oranges?
I think it's just...
Is it the bushel of apples?
I don't know
bushel
what...
of oranges?
I don't know. It's a great question.
It's a wonderful question. In a basket, Orangeburg.
A bunch of them.
A bunch.
They're also Dopey in a flower pot we did. Mm-hmm. And then are there some other ones though?
The other ones you can do, there's also Spike on a flower, Orange Bird on your finger. There's butterflies flying around you. A dandelion, like if you blow a dandelion, it's kind of like spread out the dandelion stuff. Isabella posing and saying, "Did someone say flowers?" Baby Groot topiary, which I wanted to do that one, but I didn't get a chance to. And then you can also have fairy wings in the back.
Yes. And then again, these aren't at specific locations all the time.
Sometimes it depends. Sometimes they only do it at one location and you just have to find it. The Baby Groot one is over near the Groot topiary. The Orange Bird stuff is kind of everywhere because there's like a lot of them. But yeah, you just have to kind of walk around and find them.
Yeah. And sometimes when you get a magic shot as your thing, sometimes it takes some time before it does show up in your MDE app.
Yep.
And sometimes you can lose pictures. So isn't there a form? You can fill out a form.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Is it in the app you do that?
Yeah, I don't think you can do it in the app. I think you have to go on desktop. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you can't do that because sometimes it takes a little bit for those to come through. But yeah, so that is everything that we've got to talk about for Flower and Garden. So overall, what did you think? Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful festival. It's my second favorite after Festival of the Arts. And I just love this time of year. I love the topiaries. I love the foods. It's just, the flowers growing and everything. The only thing that I didn't even think about was my allergies, like my seasonal allergies, because I was having a little bit of an issue with sneezing while we were there. And I was like, well, makes sense. Didn't prepare.
Lots of flowers.
Lots of flowers.
That's true.
But I had a great time and I can't wait to go back and do some more stuff because I want to do the butterfly landing thing and I want to do the scavenger hunts and have some more food.
Yeah, this is probably moved up to my number 2 as well. One of the main reasons being like the weather. So
I know
Festival of the Arts is my number 1, and then this one being like the day we were there was perfect. It was like a little windy at times, but it felt great. Mm-hmm. Had a jacket in the evening was perfect to do it. So weather-wise, had zero complaints. It wasn't raining when we were there, which was nice. So
right.
I had a really good time. I enjoyed this festival. I think the food, I think the food was pretty solid. Like I said, some of the ones that we had were really, really good. It's just some of the ones, nothing was really bad except, the only thing I would classify as like bad was I don't know if it was bad. Just the hot dog wasn't, I'd just be like, you can just get a hot dog anywhere. That's the only one I would really be like, avoid that one. But I feel like the food was good. Cool atmosphere, springtime. I love the springtime. So yeah, it's a good time.
Yes.
Enjoyed it.
Yes, me too.
Enjoy, I don't know I know you'll be back there. I don't know if I'll get back there. I probably will, actually. It goes on for a bit.
It goes until the end of May. I'm sure you'll go
It's not
back.
as long as Flower and Garden, but...
It is Flower and Garden. You mean as long as...
Excuse me, as Food and Wine.
Yeah. Well, we don't know this year. This year it could be different.
For the last 3 years, it's still going on right now.
No.
It's a festival that never ends. So that's going to be it for the show. So be sure, again, check us out on social media, at Cap the Magic everywhere except for Capture the Magic over on TikTok. And you can catch reels and show clips and all the stuff over there. And like we said before, if you want to watch video versions of the show or catch little snippets and show clips, you can go over to the CTM podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe over there and check us out there. We also have the main YouTube channel, which is at Cap the Magic, where we have edited videos. I'm going to do a Epic Universe construction update this week. Probably also do one on DreamWorks Land over in Universal as well, because they're completing construction over there. And we'll probably do a Flower and Garden one there as well. So those are more, basically the best way to look at that YouTube channel is like a condensed versions of like what we talk about on the podcast sometimes and other things like that. So check that out there. And then, of course, we have other shows on the network. If you want even more content, we have the CTM Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios. That's twice a month on this feed, and it's also on its own podcast feed as well if you want to have separate subs for that. And Jamie has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show, and your next one's coming out next week.
It should be Monday. Yeah, it should be Monday. I'm recording it tomorrow. So.
All right. And that is a great resource if you're going on a trip, because like people go on trips, know they're going to come on to take lots of notes and break down the trips in great detail. So it's always a good one. And of course, if you want even more content, ctmvip.com is where you go for that to check that out. And I think that will do it. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.